So here we're going to give you a quick rundown of Final Hour from Fantasy Flight Games. I was setting this up in the Board Game Geek Hotness room waiting for some folks to arrive. So we're going to show you how the game works. So here you've got a scenario card telling you the Ancient One you'll be fighting against, and some different special monsters and some different effects. It's going to tell you how to set up the board. Here is the ritual location. You don't want this spot getting overrun with monsters. And so you can see the monsters are spawned out there. They're going to move based on the different colored paths. Blue monsters will move on blue, red will move on red. You've also got some investigation tokens set up. You can see those there. These are going to be what you're trying to find to discover the game. Some of them will be items. Some of them will match these icons I'm showing you here now. So I've got two set aside that we don't look at, but that's what we're trying to figure out, kind of deduce, kind of like Clue or Cluedo through the process of elimination. So you've got to kind of do that by the end of the game. Now, this is a stack of gate tokens, kind of acts as a countdown timer. It's going to spawn monsters up in this gate, and this gate. And that's where they're going to come out and start to move around. And then each player gets a deck, a unique deck of cards. You can see this has two sides. It's got a top action and a bottom action. Now, you don't play this. You actually flip this card on your turn, and this is going to have you investigate, move around, and attack and stuff. The top action is always kind of good and fighty. The bottom action is what allows you to investigate, but also triggers monsters usually. So the way you play is actually choose some of these priority cards. See, there's a 6. So if I'm the start player, I choose a card and put it down there. Everybody's going to do that. You're always going to have 4 cards up with priority cards on top, no matter the number of players. So 4 player, everybody will have 1. 2 player, everybody will have 2 of these. And then you're going to resolve them in that order. So you flip it over. Now the first 2 cards out of the 4, you're going to activate the top part. The second 2 cards are going to activate the bottom part. So again, fighty stuff on top and then investigate stuff on the bottom. So this is a kind of an interesting way to do it. And so activate your guy is going to move around, investigate, attack. The bottom part's going to activate monsters. So you got to watch out for that. And then after you do all of that kind of stuff, you're going to have to resolve based on this little triangle icon here. So some of these priority cards will activate, and you're going to count up the number of triangles and then look at the Cthulhu card in this case, and it's going to do some kind of bad action. And then after that, you're going to resolve a gate token and spawn monsters equal to the number of gate tokens on the currently thing. So if you deal out a second one, you'll spawn 2 monsters. If you deal out a third one on a spot, that will spawn 3 monsters. And then you're going to pass the leader token to the left, and then they're going to put that card up first, the priority card first, and then the next player go, and the next player go. But you always resolve all the action cards based on whatever that priority order is. Now, the other thing you can see is these little icons there in the bottom left-hand corner of the priority card. At any point at the end of a round, you're going to take 3 cards out of your hand of 4 and say, hey, we're going to try to solve the clue. And then you're going to flip over those 2 unrevealed tokens. And then if you get matches equal to double the number of players, so in a 3-player game, if you match 6 of those, so you'd have 9 cards total out of all the players played, and then you are going to win the game. If you fail, you lose immediately. So you got to do that by the end of the last round. You got to do that before you fill this up and get it overrun with monsters, and before a player actually dies. So there's health distributed evenly amongst the players, and once one of them dies, everybody loses. That's pretty much the gist of the game. You just keep playing around, and that's it. So that is Final Hour from Fantasy Flight. Thanks.